Hey again, travel bosses. I'm excited to bring you this week's sponsor, TripStreak, the smarter travel search. What I love about TripStreak is the ability to set your personal preferences to either have or avoid red-eye flights or have things like completely lie flat seats. So the next time you need to book a flight, check out tripstreak.com/travellikeaboss.
Welcome to the Travel Like a Boss podcast, the radio show all about traveling like a boss by being your own boss. Stay tuned for weekly interviews featuring guests that have built their own online businesses. If you would like to have access to our entire back catalog, visit travellikeabosspodcast.com for instant access. And here's your host, Johnny FD.
What up, travel bosses? Welcome to episode 153 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm here with Chris Wah Chiu.
Yo, what's going on, my brother? Thank you for having me again.
Good to have you back. If you guys haven't listened to the original episode, it was episode 49, and that was how long ago?
Man, like September 2015, first time I moved to Chiang Mai, like 2.5 years ago.
That's crazy. And now where are we at?
Bali.
In Ubud Bali, the island of the gods.
Yes, it is.
And you're based out of here now.
Yeah, I moved here. Last time we saw each other was at my going away dinner in Chiang Mai, late December, and I moved straight here. So I've been here for 2.5 months now. Got my 6-month social visa, so I'll be here till September at least.
Okay, but you've been to Bali a few times before, right?
Yeah, this is my fourth time. I was here back in October. I actually led my first retreat for Coworking. And then the past 2 years, I've been here for burning season. I always escape here and live here for 2 to 3 months. So yeah.
I think it's a good spot to come for burning season, and I'm surprised more people don't do it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of a hidden gem. You know, it's like it's funny. I meet a lot of friends who come between here and back and forth, but yeah, it's like it's my second home. It's been my second home for the past 3 or 4 years.
I think that after these podcasts, after the blog posts, after kind of more and more of us come here, it's gonna become the next Chiang Mai.
Yeah, I could foresee that definitely.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was going to be Bali because it always had the reputation of having the worst internet in the world.
Yeah.
But it's somehow gotten better in the last couple of years.
It definitely has. It's still not as good as Chiang Mai, but I remember I was a bit skeptical also my first year because first year I worked out of Ubud. And yeah, but you know what? Like you have things like tethering. There's also those portable USB modems that are like proper work spots. And yeah, it's not as bad as people think it. Maybe it was a couple of years ago, like longer, but it's definitely improved.
I think even the people that right now say it's bad, it's because they're trying to use like free shared Wi-Fi.
Yeah, at those. I mean, if you're at a villa and like, man, your landlord puts a crappy, 5 meg router in there, your internet's gonna suck. And yeah, it's like you need to get a dedicated like line, or you need to go to co-working space. Or what I do now is actually whenever I go to a new restaurant, I pull up the speed test app and I always like just test it. And dude, I found like 20 meg places by my place, 10 meg places. So like those are like my kind of little hidden gems I go to in case I don't want to work at a co-working space, just to mix it up. So yeah, I have a list of places I go to that are decent.
Okay, I like it. And I actually, the funniest things I hear is people say, "Oh, the internet at Ubud sucks," and I was like, "Oh, like when'd you work out of it?" And they say, "Oh, I only worked out of the cafe." And I was like,
"Are you serious?"
I was like, "You can't like go to like it's like going like next door to a co-working space and say hey, it sucked." Because
some of those places they'll just put in a shitty internet line because they realize like they're gonna get some of these people who don't pay the full thing. It's like, of course they're not gonna put like the full dedicated infrastructure in their coffee shop if that's just for people coming by,
Yeah, exactly. But here's my question: is why are all co-working spaces in Bali so much more than Chiang Mai? It's like literally double the price.
Yeah, it's I think that speaks. I think what it is I don't think it's anything specific about Bali. I think what happened is because we live in Chiang Mai so long, it spoiled us. Because I've even been to South America, the past 3 or 4 years, and even at there, I go to some of the cheaper countries, but still, it's more expensive than Chiang Mai. So we have a bit of a cognitive bias, I think, from living in Chiang Mai. So, but in terms of why specifically Bali, I think that's just the cost of it, and plus there's not a lot of competition as well, I mean, Outpost just opened up like last year, so they're at least being competitive, but yeah, it's just.
I noticed they've marked their prices down a bit compared to Ubud,
yeah,
or Ubud,
uh-huh.
Which I wonder if that's going to cause some kind of price war between the two.
We'll see. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about price wars to me is it's beneficial to a point where if someone, if somebody is just charging more just for the sake of charging more, I think I welcome price wars and to bring it down to a fair price for everyone. But at a certain point, when the prices get too low and nobody can be profitable, they start cutting corners.
Yeah, the quality goes to shit. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah, so I think I don't know what the price should be.
Yeah.
I would imagine, if I was just going to guess, and I don't know anything about the economics of the co-working space or how much rent is here or anything, but I would think that instead of having passes where, you can get 10-hour pass or 50-hour pass, I think all of them should be unlimited. Just like gym memberships, where knowing some people really will be there, 12 hours a day. Yeah. But most people, they'll buy the unlimited pass and just come, once in a while.
And won't use it as much.
Yeah. So I think that is actually the smarter thing to do. Only sell unlimited passes. And then that way, instead of it being 200 or even 250
make it more affordable.
US dollars, which is a lot, compared to Chiang Mai, which is like 100.
100, yeah.
They can make it 150, which is be very reasonable.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think they would actually be more profitable. I don't think they'll get overcrowded because I think people will intend to come every day and they just won't.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting way to look at that. I think you should propose that to the co-working owners and see what they say.
There's a lot of things I would propose to them. Different chairs, different height tables.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, I had one friend make comparisons between. He just signed up yesterday at Outpost, and he was like, I'm not going to name names, but he was like, "Oh, this is so much better than the other place. Look at the chairs. Look at these comfy chairs, like the ergonomic ones." And he was talking about the aircon, how like it's better at Outpost. So yeah, it's but I think also you have to because these places are new, it's a growing market. They're still going through growing pains and teething issues, So it's like not every place is gonna be perfect. Like I think the reason why Outpost has been successful is because they looked at everything that Ubud didn't get right. And then they implement that straight away from the get-go.
That's smart. Okay.
But even so, when I shipped back in October, we had some power outages, So it's like, I think it's inevitable for any business that it's...
Okay. So you've been in both now. You worked out of both?
Yeah.
So what are the pros and cons of each?
You know what? It's hard to say because I worked out of Ubud 2 years ago on my first trip, and I didn't work there last year, and I haven't gotten there since then. So it's hard. But the thing for me, what I plan on doing is I'm on a 24-hour pack right now at Outpost. I'm also going to do a 30-hour pack at Ubud and have them at the same time, because for me, I don't like to go to a co-working space every day. It starts to feel like an office. And what happened is when I did it, Punspace, I bought a 3-month membership, and man, I went there every day. And then you know what? I got burnt out. I was like, fuck this place. I don't want to go into more. It feels like an office. So I think it's good to work out at both places, to be honest. They have different vibes.
I think that's really interesting because this reminds me that every single person has a very different opinion on what they want out of a co-working space. And I think that's why, even though we all have our preferences, I think people should, it's good to listen to other people's preferences, but then make your own decision.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to point out is Ubud has a bit of a reputation as it's very social, almost like a Punspace atmosphere. So you go there to when you kind of need to do work, and you kind of then get sucked into talks, and it's very open. It's very open. Have you been over there yet?
Not yet. I want to check it out.
We'll go check it out. And yeah, it's very open and very conducive to conversations. Whereas in Outpost, where you and I have been working, you have the downstairs, which is a quiet room, the whisper zone, and people respect that. Don't bother me. I'm here to get shit done. So I think that's why it's good to have both memberships. You can get a taste of which place you like better.
The funny thing is, a lot of people go to Punspace assuming it's super social, and then they get there and people just have their heads down working.
Yeah.
They're disappointed. I think it depends 100% on who happens to be there at the time.
Yeah, definitely. For me, the last time I was there, I was just putting headphones on, nose to the keyboard, and I didn't socialize at all.
So I'd say pros and cons for Punspace in Chiang Mai versus Outpost in Bali, since I've been to both. I've been working at both for a little bit now. Punspace is much smaller, and there's pros and cons of that, I guess. But it's not as wow. The wow factor is not there. It's half the price, but that's Chiang Mai is just cheaper.
Yeah.
But I my favorite thing about Punspace is they have the best table height and chairs and outlets and kind of the infrastructure within it.
Yeah.
Where it seems like they really took the time to sit down in each chair and be okay, is this something that people want to sit in for many hours? And not all their chairs are perfect. There's only one out of the two chairs I actually like.
Yeah.
But those are good, and they're not like the super expensive ergonomic chairs that look fancy. They're just normal office chairs that just happen to be comfortable at a good height. What I don't like about Outpost is all the tables seem a bit too high, and that could be me not being tall enough, but I can imagine at 5'10", 5'10" and a half, that there's a lot of people shorter than me and they have their arms up, and that's not good for you. Yeah,
it's definitely something that I am a bit picky about now, like even when I go to cafes, I'm like, it needs to be aircon, and like the seating needs to be comfortable. Like if I'm going to be there for a while, like I don't want to get my body all jacked up, and for sure. And
I hate like the wooden chairs just don't work.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
It's like with round backs, you can't lean back into it. You can't even move it because it makes so much noise in quiet area.
Yeah, they're not adjustable.
Yeah, but ironically, if you had like a dining room wooden chair, it would actually be fine because it's straight back.
Yeah,
wouldn't be super comfortable to sit at, but it forces good posture. So I actually would rather have that than like the cool looking chairs. And then they have these like ergonomic office chairs which look cool, and I think some people like it because you can lean back into them. But I hate them because there's no way to like lock the back straight.
So I found that out yesterday. I was looking for that.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to just lean back and chill and watch YouTube videos. I want to sit there and crush it.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to find like that perfect
balance. Yeah. I've been mixing up with standing as well. Yeah. That's something I've been doing a lot
I think
more.
that's been the saving grace of Outpost is they have standing desks. Yeah. So I've been using that.
It's definitely a good thing. I think that's what led to my burnout last year.
But I like the layout a lot. I like how they have that big wide open area in the bottom that is the keep it quiet AC zone. Yeah. And then the upstairs where you could be more social and you can chat.
And it's a beautiful view up there. And there's a pool. Have you checked out the pool yet?
I haven't been.
We'll have to go spend some time there next time. Yeah. The pool is nice.
Yeah, so Outpost is on the street but connected to the Bali Spirit Resort, which is like a nice hotel.
It's a proper hotel.
Yeah.
With a proper pool.
It's expensive. It was like $100 a night or something.
No shit.
Yeah. I was going to stay there and I looked at the price. I was like, nah.
But the pool is like it's not one of these dinky ass pools. It's a proper resort pool. Okay. Yeah. We had a pool party there last year, actually.
Maybe this afternoon for dip. So speaking of which, I'm staying, a minute away, I guess?
Yeah, pretty
maybe
close.
Maybe a 5-minute walk, but minute drive. And it's a nice resort, green, lush. We have there's 2 pools here. We're sitting in the living room. There's a huge bathroom. There's a bathtub and a shower. It's it's like a proper resort, right?
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm actually impressed, Johnny.
And it's $25 a night.
That's even crazier. I definitely wouldn't have thought it was 25. I thought it was like 30 to 40.
And when I first came in, and I put it on my Instagram live, Johnny FDK, if you guys haven't seen it, but people were probably like, wow, this place is so baller. You're so lucky.
Yeah.
But then I realized, it's like, what am I doing with all this space? You're the first person I've had over. This is actually the first time I sat on the couch.
No shit.
So when I get home, 9:00 at night, I'm not going to sit on the couch by myself, do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go lay in bed.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I moved into a studio villa. It's a 1 floor and 2 floor, and I got the whole second floor. It's a wraparound balcony. It's fucking amazing in the middle of rice fields. But the thing is, it's still just a 1 bedroom. And at first, I kind of freaked out because in Chiang Mai, you saw my place is at a proper huge 1 bedroom and living room and then big balcony. And then I kind of downsized here. And at first, I was like, man, I might need all that space, but you get used to it, like psychologically used to it. And like, I kind of like going back to being a minimalist as well. And so it's $410 US. It's beautiful.
$400 a month.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really nice.
Speaking of minimalism, I got rid of all my stuff when I left Chiang Mai.
I saw that. You sold or donated.
All of it.
That's what I had to do also.
Cases of it.
Yeah.
All I have now is that rolling duffel. It's 60 liters in my backpack.
I see it.
And it was stuffed to the gills, but I'm starting to give away and just throw away more stuff as I go.
Yeah.
So my goal is to be able to zip that up easily and just have that, nothing else.
Yeah, it's crazy how much even though this lifestyle is pretty, if you want to be minimalist, but I think when you have a home base like Chiang Mai, for 2.5 years, I slowly accumulated stuff. Plus I made it feel like home, just little things. But it took me 3 days to organize, sell all my shit, and I didn't realize how much stress that caused me. But I ended up just selling everything to this one lady.
I don't think most people realize how much stress having stuff causes.
Yeah, man. It definitely
we buy things thinking it's going to add to our life and make our lives easier or better, but it does the opposite.
It's like that quote from my favorite movie from Fight Club, Tyler Durden. the things you own you.
And when I first saw that movie, I thought it was a cool quote, but I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until maybe the second or third time I've done like a master cleanse of my stuff did I realize it really does.
It does. I know.
It can hold you back.
It does. So yeah, we'll see. Like I've been like, I had to buy a couple things for my apartment, like a skillet and like a knife to like cook eggs. But I'm like, do I really need this, or am I just like impulsive? And it really made me re-question things, which is a good thing.
Even buying like groceries, like I have a kitchen here that I was thinking it's like, oh, maybe I'll cook eggs in the morning. Right?
Yeah.
So I was tempted to go to the store and I was get some eggs. And I thought, okay, well, I need some kind of oil, some kind of butter. And then I was like, oh, do I have, do I even have like pan to cook it in? Do I have everything? And I was like, oh, I need salt too to season it. And I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, I don't even want to eat at home.
Yeah.
I can just go out. It's cheap enough here. We're the option to go out and eat. I think the only reason why we cook so much at home is because either you can't find healthy food outside or it's too expensive. It's cost prohibitive. But here, it's cheap.
Yeah.
And they probably have some of the healthiest food.
Yeah,
anywhere,
man.
Right?
It definitely the food is healthy here. And I brought you to that place stage today. So what did you honestly think about it?
So to set this up, we're in Ubud Bali, which is known, which was featured in Eat, Pray, Love. Yeah, that's where she was. And because like, oh yeah, there's this great place called Sage. It's right next door. They have an amazing tempeh burger and jackfruit burrito. I was like, what? I was like, I don't want that. Let's go somewhere else. And he's like, no, let's just give it a shot. It'll be good. And I was like, all right, I'm in Ubud. Let's try it. It was tasty. We had jackfruit tacos, and I had it with guacamole. We had some
appetizers.
The tempeh
buffalo wings. Tempeh.
Yeah, and it was good. It was tasty. Good. And I'm but it's really full. So it did its job, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying though, because like I remember a couple of years ago, I went to like a vegetarian place, and like afterwards, I'm like, man, I'm still full. What the fuck? Like that's always like that's always my biggest worry. Like I won't have food to feel full, But that place proper meal. And
I think I've kind of just come to a point where I'm like, you know what? Even if I'm not full, I'll eat again in a few hours.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm gonna starve to death.
No.
Like I think that's probably the last way I'm gonna die. Especially being in a place like this where you can go on and just buy anything for a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
There's food everywhere. Like Indonesians love to eat.
They do. The food's good here, man.
So the one thing that is the best that I've had here is the smoothie bowls, which is something I've never even heard of. Yeah. Have you had a smoothie bowl back in New York?
No, and that's the thing. Like, not in Thailand. It wasn't until I moved to Changu last year that I have. Next to Dojo, actually, is a place called Nalu Bowls, and those are actually my favorite. It's almost like a dessert than like a breakfast.
That's the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it tastes like dessert.
Yeah,
I think it should be thought of as a treat instead of a meal.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that every day for breakfast. Me personally,
it's kind of like a Cyberry bowl.
Yeah.
So a smoothie bowl, if you guys are trying to figure out what that is basically granola with maybe like some fruit. It's usually tropical fruit like pineapple, papaya, dragon fruit, and maybe some coconut shreds, some nuts, maybe some cashews or something,
or chia nut or chia seeds.
Chia seeds, yeah. Which and what I like is they use reconstituted chia seeds, so they take on just like tapioca, and then instead of using milk or even almond milk, which is tasty, it'll be good anyways, they actually pour in a smoothie that's made out of like coconut milk, spirulina, or maybe some honey, whatever else.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know. I think some places use yogurt also.
Yogurt, okay, it could be yogurt.
But they mix it up, and it's like it tastes amazing. It's really good.
It's tasty.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah. Like after like a workout, like because then you treat yourself, and it's a dessert in your mouth.
So speaking of working out, I went to the best yoga class I've ever been to out here in Ubud.
I gotta check that out with you.
So I heard there's a rivalry between the two.
It's funny you say that because like that makes me think of like back in Phuket, like Phuket top team versus like Tiger Muay Thai. Like I do know what you're saying, but like I think what happens is like you get some expats or some people who are like high up on themselves. Whatever, they're like, oh, yoga barn, it's just for tourists, it's just for people who want to be seen, it's just for girls who just want to wear skimpy clothing, and it's like, and then like if you're like you know, like if you're in the know, then you go to Radiantly Alive. It's like, I don't know. I mean, some people are very judgmental, and like I try not to be. I think it's good to like find out for yourself and see which teachers you vibe with.
I wasn't going to, but I'll have to go and see Yoga Barn.
Come with me, dude.
Myself. All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So my friend Kristen, she's been on the podcast. Very first day I got here, she's like, I'm gonna be at Radiantly, you know, I'm gonna do yoga. I was like, oh, you know what? I want to do yoga. Like, you know, where should I meet you? And she dropped the pin. I was like, Radiantly Alive.
What happened? The sound turned you off?
I was like,
turned you off?
I was like, I cannot believe this place is called Radiantly Alive.
Oh man, dude, I forget. This is like your first time in Ubud, so like for me, it doesn't even faze me.
It's so spiritual and hippie and move here. You know, I ate at a restaurant called Kismet, which is good. And in the bathroom, they had a little box with slips of paper and a pen that said, write down random things you've overheard in Ubud. Mm-hmm. And it was ridiculous. What was in
I'm
there?
sure you could find some very stereotypical sayings to hear over there.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't actually heard of Ubud Bali, it has a reputation of being super spiritual, super woo-woo, super
New age.
Yeah. Lots of life coaches.
Yeah, like me.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you're a life coach?
Yeah.
I don't even know what a life coach is, man.
We could talk a bit into that. But yeah, just about like, I think people... Like the reputation it has, like Ubud itself, it's like, me personally, I like it, you know, because it's people here who are here to work on themselves, you know, it's personal development, but on a bigger scale. And, you know, that benefits your health, your relationships, your business. But the thing what happens is like sometimes it gets skewed in one way, you know, like the hippies turn into one version of it, and then people get turned off by like, you know, all the chakra talk and the crazy outfits they wear. Like, you look at me, I consider myself a hippie, but I might not look the role, but I definitely am down with the vibes or like the ideas and, you know, like the general vibe of it. But yeah, it can be off-putting, I guess I would say, you know, to some people. Like, I guess, like for you today, you know, like, I think you were kind of like, that's how I was a couple years ago before I got into this lifestyle. So at first you're like, what is this, like a cult? Like, why are these people, what are they chanting, and what are these outfits they wear, these ponytails, but once you get past that and you look behind it and you can find some stuff that's really worthwhile to check out. Okay.
All right. You know, I'm glad I had you on and not like some other random person from Ubud, because I feel like I give you the benefit of the doubt. You know, because I've known you for so long. Yeah. If you guys haven't heard that other episode, pause this, go back and listen to it, and you can see kind of the big differences in the last 2 years. And also us telling the story about how we met. Yeah. And how we both went to the same Muay Thai gyms and how different we were back then.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. Like, I came from the complete opposite spectrum of what we're in now. Like, I came from 8 years on Wall Street, that New York lifestyle, very money driven, you know, and now I'm like, you know, talking about chakras and meditation and stuff. And it's just like, I think it's important to have a balance, you know, but, you know, you shouldn't just read off everything that you're not familiar with. But yeah, it's interesting to hear that.
I have a philosophy that 100% of people who are focused just on money or just on business would benefit a little bit, or maybe even a lot, from some of the woo stuff. Yeah. To kind of make them, you know, kind of more centered, more grounded, you know, things like that. But I also believe on the other spectrum, where 100% of the super woo people would benefit a crap load from some like financial planning, like, you know, some, you know, actual just like groundness.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's funny you say that, because like, I remember talking to my coach and last year when I was like, we were talking, he's like, oh yeah, I just left Ubud also. And he made a comment or he mentioned like insight. He's like, yeah, like half the yoga teachers here are broke because, you know, they're too much on that side, on the spiritual path, but they ignore the financial material world. And it's like, and that's not good. You need to have balance, because even if you want to focus on yoga, you still have to like pay the bills. You have to grow your business. It's still a business. And so like, you know, even if you want to be quote unquote spiritual, you still have to deal with money and, you know, and all that stuff that we do online and as an entrepreneur. So they would definitely benefit as well.
And I definitely think that even if your cause isn't about money, let's say it's a charity or NGO, or, you know, you have a bigger difference you want to make. You know, you want to be a change maker in the world, you know, social enterprise, whatever it is. If it's not based on solid business foundations, it'll fizzle out and disappear. Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, like, I feel bad for these people because they have this great project. This guy in Chiang Mai I met, spent the last 8 years taking photos and making a video documentary or photo documentary about people that live in the hill tribes out there and how they're losing their voice because of social media now and people moving to the city, so they're losing the tradition. So it's a great project, and he's so passionate, dedicated about it. And then finally, he had it finished, and he announced it in the groups. 0 likes, 0 comments. Nobody watched it, and he was so pissed. He was so angry, and he was like, he's like, Johnny, people don't give a crap. All people care about is business or making money. Nobody wants to, even think or look at the culture. Yeah. And I said to him, look, don't take it personally, but your copy sucks. Yeah. Like the post you made, first off, was all in caps. Nobody fucking wants to read that. Second, it was like 8 paragraphs long. Nobody has time to read that. Yep. And third, it had no benefit, no draw-in for the person to even want to watch the trailer, the video. If they watched it, they'd be like, oh, this is a great cause. Maybe I'll support it. But the fact that he didn't have like the basics of copywriting down and say, something like even like, lost tide tribes need your help or something. Yeah. Here are the benefits to you, watch this trailer. Here's how to support us. That would be a million times better than having, 8 paragraphs worth of block text. Yeah. His heart's in the right place. It's just the execution, and you can't ignore basic business principles. And that's why I think it's everyone on that side should learn some of these basic business principles, but then us, or the people that are like super business driven really would benefit from some of this other side of it. Definitely. And that's kind of like, I guess, to go back what I was saying about my coaching business, that's kind of what I'm along the lines. Like I had my foot in the modern world in the West, and I had my other foot in the East. I'm trying to bridge these two worlds together, the spiritual and material, because I think that both sides should benefit. But, I know what it's like to go through a corporate job. And so that's why I really that's my target market right now, trying to help those guys find their spiritual path, if that's what you want to call it, or mindfulness or conscious or balance or grounding. But because I didn't have that when I was doing this 8 years, I had a collapsed lung twice because I was so stressed out. So I wish I had basic meditation or like just stuff that we do out here that we take for granted. But back then I didn't know that. So I think that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this knowledge and educating people, because I'm like, man, it helped change my life around. I'm a happier person. I can see that. I love the story behind it as well. I think a lot has changed even from 2 years ago. We were both really into e-commerce. Yeah. Whatever happened to your store? I was trying to sell it after the first year. And what happened was when Amazon got rid of their PPC campaigns, half my traffic went down the drain. And at that time, I didn't realize it, but I should have sold it to Empire Flippers because I was trying to work with them. And then when I did the accounting, they were like, yeah, because your traffic dried up, we can't sell it, so you need to go back and make it profitable. So so let's rewind. So the last episode 49, you were just starting to make sales in the store. Yeah, I was making between $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And profit? Yeah, roughly. Nice. So that's why I was like, oh man, I got a winner here. And then, like I said, I kind of like didn't keep the foot on the pedal. I kind of like coasted. And then, like I said, Amazon then stopped the traffic. So by the time I submitted my accounting, I was like, fuck, I can't sell it. So what happened was then I was like, all right, I'll keep the store and I'll rebuild it, drive traffic. But then I just lost my drive. So I let it coast and it made like organic sales. But then last year at the end of it, I actually hired a friend to take over, redesign it. He's been running my PPC stuff. So it's not profitable. It's not as much as like the past 2 months we've made like maybe $500-$800, Okay. But the plan is to still sell it. But it was a learning lesson, Yeah. So big learning lesson to everyone out there is, first off, don't depend on any one traffic source, because if they decide to change the rules, like Amazon, for example, used to let you take out ads on Amazon, search ads, but then have to go to your site. Yep. They decided we're not doing it anymore. So then you had to figure out, okay, we got to make Google ads work. Yeah. And the reason why you couldn't sell it is because, first off, that traffic source that you were getting all your visitors from was gone. Yeah. And then second, when you let it coast for a few months and it had, just very few sales, it drives down the value of the store, because usually most businesses will look at the last 12 months of revenue or the last 12 months of profit and calculate that. And if your average, was great for the first 2 months and then 0 for the next 6 months, then it really drives it down. Exactly. Perfectly said.
So I still have the store, and the game plan is to hopefully sell it later this year because I really don't want to deal with it. But
yeah, and it's crazy. So both of us are getting out of e-commerce, but I know for me, I'm really glad I got into it as my first business.
Yeah, same here.
Do you? Okay. Why
100%.
do you say that?
Because, and it's funny you mentioned because like I've been watching the Chiang Mai digital nomad scene from afar, like as entertainment value to see all the trolls and comments. And like I don't care, I don't take it personal, but like I do see the arguments, and like it's a lot of stuff that you said. Like it helped. It was a good first stepping stone for running your own business, and it forced me to look at things like design and copy and uploading products and getting on a phone and talking to a supplier and selling yourself as a business person. Like those are all experiences that I can take, and I've applied these skills to my coaching business, So, as much as I'm not saying dropshipping is the only path to get there, but for me personally, it was a good stepping stone. And, it was like, it gave me a really good foundation to start business.
I think so 100% as well. And I actually think it gives you more validity as a coach, having owned your own business before and knowing kind of ups and downs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. It's like all these, because I've also started a Udemy course, and I've had a couple other e-commerce businesses with friends, with FBA. But it's like, if I'm going to be a coach, I need to go through these struggles as an entrepreneur. Like, how am I going to coach somebody if I haven't gone through those obstacles or hardships, I think
that's my biggest gripe about life coaches in general is a lot of them haven't taken care of their own lives. Or they haven't had the experience in, let's say, business, but they're a business coach now. So to me, I think that's why it has a kind of a bad name to it.
Yeah.
And I think in the same thing in the digital nomad scene, I think the reason why I was starting getting a bad name is that you had a bunch of people who had never actually started a business.
Yeah.
They started, teaching how to be a digital nomad. And then that made legitimate people who've actually done a business also look bad.
Yeah, totally. And that's why I understand like why people are getting upset. Like, especially if you're like a legit business person, you're getting thrown into that cesspool of scam artists. It's like, man, that makes all of us look bad, So it's good to call the bullshit out.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to deal with the high school drama. I want people to be, people are adults, right? If you're going to travel halfway across the world and move and say you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to be able to figure this crap out yourself. Like, you shouldn't have someone have to babysit you or hold your hand and say, no, don't do that or don't do this. You should be able to okay, what are this person's credentials? What kind of businesses have they done in the past? Is this something that, has this person actually made money doing what they're teaching?
Yeah.
Like, have they had a success in that field? And to me, these are just fucking basic questions.
Due diligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem with due diligence is if you just Google, is Kobe Bryant a scam?
Yeah.
There's going to be someone writing, he's actually Native American or something.
It's tricky, with the internet. It's just, man, you have to really dig. Even when you see reviews, you have to dig, and you really have to be a private investigator. And also, I think, kind of go with your gut as well.
But here's the biggest problem with being a private investigator is 99.9% of the people who are successful with something don't post about it.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee, there's 100 people posting that dropshipping is a scam. But then people like you who actually make money with it don't post or anything.
And that's the thing. That's why, because it's that fucking energy that if I was going to go and try and defend and get involved with these freaking trolls, it's fuck that shit. I'm going to go work at my store or my other businesses and devote my mental energy against that. That's why, if I go on it, I'm doing it for laughs because I find it comical. But like I said, it's there's a million other things that I'm doing with my time and mental energy, which is precious to me. So that's why I don't deal with that.
And I'm starting to feel the same way. I think I've written enough about dropshipping, how to get started, if it's right for you or not. And those articles are always going to be up. And if anything, maybe I'll copy and paste a link to someone, if they ask. But I'm done trying to convince the trolls.
Yeah. Convince the trolls.
It's it's just not worth my energy. It's really not worth my time.
It's not. It's draining, dude. It's not a battle to choose your battles and stuff. It's not what you want to choose.
And it's funny because Larissa, we were on the phone the other day. She was saying, she's like, sometimes when I read this stuff, I just want to scream and be like, you fucking idiots.
You can't help people who don't want to help or who are not ready to receive the message. That's one thing I've learned.
Yeah. So maybe this will be the official announcement. Me and Larissa sold our store.
Oh yeah. That's what you said. Congratulations, man. That's
Appreciate
huge.
That.
That's huge.
And so the main reason why we sold it is she is buying a house.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And it's not,
Hi, Larissa, by the way.
yeah. I don't know if she still listens, but Larissa. So she wanted she needed some cash. She was going to borrow the difference from her sister, but I was like, you're starting another job. You have your own life. Like, we're not really growing this store.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just like with your example, if you don't grow something, you let it die. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a terrible November because neither of us were paying attention to it. I messed up on the ads. We weren't, we weren't spending any money on advertising. And I was like, if that goes on for another, couple months, nobody's going to buy the store because they're going to think something's wrong with it, even though it was just us being lazy, idiots, not paying attention to it. So what I did was I spent the last couple months going back in, making sure the ads are running, just kind of updating the descriptions and kind of just like making the site like usable again. We fucking forgot to change the coupon code.
Yeah.
And it kept saying, and this is so right now it's what, March 15th, something, 2017, right?
Yeah.
It said 2016 on the coupon code up until last week. And this is how much we neglected it. So stuff like that, we're like, you know what? Let's sell the store.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's done.
I think you made the right move.
Thank you.
It's good timing too, man. Like, that's one regret I have, like not timing it properly, attention.
Yeah, and hopefully this next the guy who bought it is going to be able to grow it and then not only make his money back, but also sell it for even more when he does. Because the first store, I still talk to the guy.
Yeah,
man, I'm jealous sometimes because he's crushing it.
No shit.
I was making on average like $2 or $3 grand a month from it.
Yeah,
and the best month I ever had was the first year when I was really excited. I made like $5 grand a month profit. I was really excited, but then I like started doing all these other things, let it slip and drop. Then it got down to like $2 or $3 grand on average. I think he said he's making like $8 grand a month from it now.
No
something
shit.
Crazy, yeah.
Wow.
So not only has he probably made his money back for the $60K he bought the store for, I think it was after everything was $57,500 or something. And I'm pretty sure he's either going to have that back already or pretty soon. And then when he sells that store again, it won't sell for $60K this time. It'll probably sell for a lot more.
Yeah.
But he's also putting in the work. So
I just say he's putting time into it, time and energy.
So hopefully this other buyer does the same thing. If anything, like I think he's happy because he has another dropshipping store that is just making some sales here and there, but like he doesn't know how to scale it up. He doesn't really, he doesn't really understand like how to actually build, like, run a profitable business. So this to him is just like, oh, wow, like I can actually see the back end of like how a profitable store is actually supposed to run.
Yeah. That's a good investment for him.
Yeah. So that's it for me for now. That was my last dropshipping store.
Damn.
I don't plan on starting another one.
And now you're fully retired.
I'm retired.
It's not going to be Johnny FD anymore. It's going to be Johnny retired.
Retired. Actually, I'm writing a blog post, ironically, about retiring. And it's not that I'm going to stop, do anything, because I kind of feel like we're retired anyways.
Exactly. That's
we wake up when we want to wake up. We live in places like Bali or Thailand. I've been surfing all day last week. This week I've been doing, just yoga.
Yeah, we already are retired, to be honest. That's how I feel.
But I think the what I mean by retiring is I'm never again going to start a business with money as the objective.
Yeah, as a driving goal.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I think I'll end up making just as much or maybe even a lot more money anyways, just doing things I like doing or passion projects. Like I like doing this podcast. Even if I wasn't getting paid for it, I would still do this.
I 100% believe in that philosophy, and that's what I'm doing right now as well. I think that's a more powerful and more fulfilling way to go about it.
I like it. So if somebody was in your shoes, they're working maybe on Wall Street, working in finance, or pretty much anyone who's working like 50 hours a week in any job that you hate, maybe you got to commute, maybe you got some bullshit boss, you got some fucking reports you got to fill out that you hate, what would you recommend to them?
Take time to get self-awareness first. You need to figure out who you are, what your values are, what your beliefs are, what your dreams are, what your goals are. Because if you don't have that as your starting point, you're going to be running around in circles. So you really, number one that I tell my clients is self-awareness. That's why I talked about MBTI, Myers-Briggs personality, or Myers-Briggs type indicator. That can help kind of guide you on what your values and beliefs are, because you need that. That's going to drive you at the end of the day, what your values are.
Which personality type were you?
I'm an ENFJ.
ENFJ. That's, I think that's Fuck, I don't remember what it is now.
Yours like ESTP.
EST. No, I think I'm ESTJ. I'm ESTJ. So we're actually kind of close, right?
It's still a pretty big difference.
It's pretty big, yeah.
But I mean, we both have the J. That's organization. We like to be organized. But we're both extroverts, yeah. But you're sensory, I'm intuitive when it comes to learning. Okay, so what's the difference between those two? Sensory is more logical. You know, you like to use numbers, you like to look at data, facts, and intuition, which is me. That's why I feel like I fit in very well here in Ubud with all the hippies, because we're very, we like to think outside the box and look for patterns and the bigger pictures like that. We use our intuition to learn and make decisions.
I think the kind of the best thing I learned from that letter, that part of it is, even though I might be right historically, it doesn't mean I'm going to be right in the future. So, for example, if someone said to me like, here's this alternative way of doing something, alternative medicine even, right?
Yeah.
As an S, right, as a sensory, I'm like, all right, what are the facts?
Yeah.
Show me some case studies or some reports. How many people have actually been cured by, by cancer from this?
Yeah.
Or how many, what is the correlation between, like, are you going to get cancer and you not eating organic fruit, whatever it is? And I think that's actually a good example, because right now, like, there is, like, study-wise, there's not enough evidence that eating organic is better for you, better for your health. There's not enough studies out there. There's not enough long-term studies. And then the ones that they had weren't, very conducive, right? You can kind of find both sides of it. But as like a kind of the end, like the sensory person, you can be like, well, it makes sense that eating organic would be better for you. And even though, people might not have like a scientific study yet to back that up, they're like, no, I feel like it's going to be better for you. And you might be right.
Yeah, it's just knowing which way, who you're talking to, and if you're trying to pitch a client that's very sensory or logical, you want to use that kind of data in your pitch.
How were you in finance? Or did it change?
It's, they do say that not that you change, but you develop different parts of your cognitive functions as you get older. So I think for me, when I was younger, I was more in touch with the logical side. I worked in technology on the trading floor and with investment bankers. So I was a geek. I was a computer geek. I did comp science at my major in college. But, I think that was more developed. But then after I left Wall Street, that's when I got more in touch with my intuitive side, with my inner world, So that's, it's funny you say that. So yeah, back then I was more logic and that side of the brain, but now I definitely, the other side.
Okay. I like it. And if you guys want to know more about these personality tests, listen to episode 141 with our friend Kristen Yates, who's happens to be living here in Ubud as well.
Yeah. She's an ENFP.
Yeah. She definitely is. So there's a lot of people moving on here now. You've lived in Changu as well, right?
Yeah.
So last week's episode, we talked about Changu, which is the beach town, good surf. What do you think the difference is between Changu and Ubud?
So yeah, that's a really good conversation. 'Cause I feel like that's a pretty common question I always see on the Facebook groups. It's, obviously we don't have the beach here in Ubud, but, the difference is like you said, I think it's I hate using that word spirituality, but if you want to work on yourself and be more mindful and conscious, here the supports it so much more, because you have all these yoga studios, you have great meditation teachers. You're really in a supportive community of people who are working on themselves and who are kind of on the same path. And, it's great to be there. So that's one of the big differences between here and Changu. I don't want to generalize, but I feel like Changu is a bit of the surfer bro, Aussie, let's get fucked up party crowd. And there's nothing wrong with that. That was me 10 years ago. I'm 37 now. But, we're at different points in our life now, and that's not my priority anymore, chasing girls all day and shit. It's like I want something more fulfilling. So, that's probably one of the big differences right there. But, they both have great restaurants, beautiful nature. Here, you don't have the beach, but you have, oh my God, you have green, like jungle forest everywhere. And I love that. And, yeah, man, it's like, so yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question? What are the differences?
Yeah, well, I think you brought up a lot of good points, right? So first, Changu, I think it's not nearly as bad as like Kuta Beach, like South Kuta. That really is the drunk party Aussie capital of the world. Changu.
You get the hipsters in Changu.
And more, yeah. The only thing I didn't like about Changu is it feels like it's like the cool kids there.
That's what it is. That's what the hipsters are. And they're like, I have a friend who, I asked her, I was like, why did all the fucking hipsters come here? Because like people are like, oh, the hipsters ruined Changu. They're going to make it into Kuta. And she was like, I hate generalizing, but they said all the Aussies that came over, they like to think they're cool and open up these restaurants and these, these fancy.
And what's kind of cool is they do have, I do like hipster restaurants.
Yeah, they do. I like it too, man. I like working out of there. They have good food.
I'm glad they do things.
Yeah.
I just don't like how cliquey or pretentious or like self-righteous people feel.
Yeah. And that's what it is. You then get people who are like, got their nose in the air and becoming snobs and like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, like get back down to earth, like. Yeah.
But even with all that, I like Changu just because you can surf.
Yeah.
It's not the most beautiful beach. It's actually pretty dirty.
Yeah.
It's pretty
black sand. It's not like Thailand beaches or Cambodia.
But there's surf.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, it's like almost nothing else matters. I'm like, okay, if I can surf, the weather's good, there's good, good cafes, good food. I'll stick it out, right?
Yeah.
But I think overall, Ubud is a bit cheaper. The people are just nicer.
Yeah.
Like, definitely less stuck up.
Nicer vibe.
Just really nice energy, nice vibe. The yoga in Ubud is way better.
Yeah.
The yoga in Changu actually sucked. I only went to Serenity.
There's other places. I mean, there's the practice I've been to. I would say check it out. I have a friend who goes also Samadhi. So I would recommend those two places. Check it out.
So Ubud, I think you're right. Like it's better if you're into spirituality, if you want to discover yourself, if you want
balance, like if you're, like I said, if you're an entrepreneur, we did the retreat I ran last year of Coworking. We ran it here in Ubud, and it was like one of the themes is like how to help make personal development, how to apply that for professional development. And, the concepts are like bringing balance into your life, getting to know yourself, self-awareness, grounding yourself, like having morning rituals. So it's like, even if you were an entrepreneur type who's not looking for the spirituality or the spiritual path, coming here can still benefit you because you can bring those concepts like balance into your life, and that'll make you more successful. Yeah,
I can see that. It almost kind of forces you to have good balance when you're here.
Yeah.
But one thing I definitely think that Ubud has going for it is people that do want to put their head down and work and grind. I've met a lot more entrepreneurs here that are trying to grow like a 6-figure business than in Changu.
It's funny you say that. So like, I think with Changu, like, because it is a beach, it's known as a surfer beach town. You do have the distractions. So you have the bar and the nightlife. I've actually been out a couple of times down there. They do have good music. They have those freaking awesome sunset bars and good house music playing in the background. I love house music. I don't drink anymore, but I can still go out and dance. But people who aren't as disciplined, they can fall off the wagon and get distracted. So there is that. But man, like what you said, the beach there, that's why I lived there last year from March, April, May. I love being by the beach, living 2 minutes from the beach. It's always been a dream of mine. And, I think it's a cool place to experience that.
Yeah, I definitely think every single person should live within a block of the beach at least once in their life.
I agree.
I would probably do it on an island somewhere just to really get the whole feeling. And do it until you start complaining.
Exactly.
Because eventually you're going to get annoyed of it. You're like, oh man, I'm so sick of having sand in my house all the time. You stop, maybe, you might stop enjoying it and stop, you just don't like it as much, right?
Hedonic adaptation will kick in. But, it's like for what I do now, Johnny, is every Sunday or Saturday, I drive down to Changu, 45 minutes on my bike. I go use that new gym. I'll bring you there if you want. They have a Muay Thai bag. So I have my Sunday routine, drive down there, go to the gym, go to my favorite restaurant, Gypsy, and then get a massage, my favorite place, and then go for a 2-hour sunset walk. So I love having Changu close by to Ubud, 45 minutes. It's not a bad drive.
What's so funny is I think most people did not realize how close they are together. Some people were thinking, like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Just do both.
Yeah.
Just live halfway between.
I forgot. So yeah, we should clarify that. So it's like a 45-minute drive, but it's not.
I think it's more like an hour and 15.
It depends where exactly you were going from which points of Ubud. Like from my place, I live on the outskirts of Ubud, so I have a little bit of a head start. And then I also go to the quieter part of Changu, so that's where I go to my old villa actually.
Oh,
so yeah, so it's in a town called Perninan, and that's next to Echo Beach and Changu. So I would highly recommend that for people who want to visit Changu but don't want to live in like central, like where you are. I always like living like outside of the craziness. So I live like 1 block away from Dojo and Echo Beach, but it was considered a different village.
That's it. Okay. So the other thing I think is cool about Ubud is even though it's jungle and it's not near a beach,
Mm-hmm.
you're within a few hours.
Yeah.
Like an hour to Changu Beach, but
Mhm.
also to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's like an hour 15?
To Padang Bai, we were talking. I haven't done that. I think it's around an hour, give or take. But yeah, it's not far.
So if you guys wanted to, you could just ride a scooter,
Mhm.
have a nice trip out there.
Yeah.
For me personally, what I would probably do is make weekend trips out of it, spend
Mhm.
the night there somewhere.
Yeah.
'Cause you can get hotels so cheap out here. $20 a night or less.
I actually plan on doing, I want to explore the rest of Bali this time, and I want to go up to the north. There's like a national park up there, and I heard this lady who works at Gypsy Restaurant, she was giving us tips. She's like, rent like a Jeep, for super cheap, and then drive out there because it's going to be a couple hour drive, but you could then explore the rest of Bali. So I'm going to do like a 3 to 5 day mini vacation in the next month or two and just explore this island.
So I've only now been in Ubud for a few days. This is my second trip out here. I've been here 6 years ago. And I think I've gotten a bit of a taste for it. So off of just kind of my preliminary recommendation, and it could change, I would probably say to people, if you want a place where you actually can focus on work, base yourself in Ubud. Check out either Ubud or Outpost, see which space you like better. Maybe you might end up working on cafes, but at least there's the option here,
Mhm.
right? At least in Changu, there's only the one space, which I didn't like. And here you have options, which is nice,
Mhm.
right? And then if you want to go to the beach, go on weekends.
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, you should be working anyways.
Yeah.
And then take Saturday morning, head out to the beach, spend the night, come back Sunday night, and you can have the best of both.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing last 2 months, and I love it.
Yeah, I like it. So, any kind of last tips or words that you want to put out there?
Man, if I would highly recommend checking out Bali. It's a special place also, just like Chiang Mai. And I think if you're a nomad, whether you're in Chiang Mai or Colombia, give Bali a chance. Because I remember when I first went to Thailand, I was like, Bali, isn't that just a tourist island? I didn't know that there was like a conscious community. I didn't know there was co-working spaces. So, it's got something for everybody. And I would highly recommend it. It's affordable. It's not as expensive as everyone makes it out to be. And yeah, man, it's a great place.
Can I ask what you're spending a month here?
Yeah, I spend about, back just to give you a standard, like a baseline, I spend about $1,000 in Chiang Mai for a really good lifestyle. I don't like pinch pennies or anything. Here, I have the same lifestyle and I spend about $1,500 US.
I've heard that from a lot of people. It's about $500 more than Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
Still gonna be half the price of whatever you spend at home. For me, Chiang Mai was spending about $1,200, and yeah, exactly like you. I wasn't penny pinching. I was eating out, eating whatever I want to eat, eating wherever I want to live. Here, I'm probably spending $2,000.
Mhm.
So, $500 to $700.
Yeah, I would budget between $1,500 to $2,000 to live comfortably. You can do it cheaper, but I don't think it's worth it, and you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the standard of living out here is pretty good.
Mhm.
So I would recommend it to most people.
Yeah,
Infrastructure is not quite as good as Thailand.
yeah.
Visas are more of a pain in the ass. But I think, they have, let's quickly talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I would say pain in the ass. I would actually say maybe the same or even better, to be honest.
Okay.
Because here's the first thing. My last trip, when I left here October and I went back to Chiang Mai, they actually stopped me in Bangkok and were like, they looked at my tourist visas and they're like, my visa and rides are like, oh, you've been doing too many. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I leave the country every time for like 2 or 3 months. And like, next time you have to apply for tourists. I'm like, what the fuck? Thankfully, it's been 4 years I've been living there. So that's kind of a sign for me to leave. So here, from what I've heard,
and to clarify, you mean whenever you fly in, you would just get the 30 days on arrival. So you wouldn't apply for a visa in advance. You just get the 30 days for free.
Sometimes I would and sometimes I wouldn't.
Okay.
But because I knew I was only going to be in Chiang Mai for 2 months, I'm like, I don't need to.
Okay, perfect. So if you guys don't know, when you go to Thailand, you can just fly in, you get 30 days for free, and then you can extend it for another 30 days at the mall, and you get 60 days total.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whereas here, if you do, I did that last year. I was on my 2-month visa in Bali, and then I went to KL, and I came back the same night, and no questions asked. No one busted my chops.
But I wonder if that's just because you didn't have as many stamps yet.
No, because I've also I also checked other Facebook groups, and they're not really like, you always have to be careful, obviously, but like the general consensus I got is Bali, they don't care.
They don't care as much.
They realize the tourism here is actually like a good thing, you know.
Okay.
And then for me now, I'm actually on a 6-month social visa. So I flew to Singapore. I used an express agent. I paid $120 US to get the letter in and out the same day. And then I spent one night there because I didn't want to kill myself with the flights.
Yeah, smart.
So yeah, I went to Singapore and that was that. So for 60 days, I paid 120. And then here's other trick. Here's like the other add-on. So Bali, I would say it's easier, but there are more hidden expenses, I guess you would call it. So even though I use a visa agent to get my first 60 days, I have to check into immigration every once a month, every 30 days. And for that, you are recommended to use a visa agent, which is about $20, $30 US each time. You can do it yourself, but then like I said, you're losing time driving 10 Pensar. So these are the built-in costs for your visa. So for a 6-month visa, I won't have to at least fly out of the country and kill myself on visa runs, but I will have to pay money through a visa agent.
So my question is, if let's say you do want to fly out of the country, you want to go somewhere, when you come back, is that 6-month visa still valid or no?
So that's a good point. That's a good question also. So I found out that I have to kind of stay put here for the every month I have to check in. So if I only want to do 4 months, then that's fine. But then I will lose that 6-month visa.
Okay. So here are the options for everyone to kind of clarify again. So Thailand, you can either get 30 days on arrival, which you can extend pretty easily. You spend half a day at the mall, but it's pretty easy. You can get a single entry tourist visa, which gives you 60 days, which you can extend for another 30, same procedure, and you get 90 days total. And that you can get anywhere. So any country, you can get it from a neighboring country.
You can get it here in Bali and Denpasar also.
You can get it in Bali, you can get it in Singapore, you can get it wherever you want. Or if you go back to your home country, you can get a 6-month multiple entry tourist visa, which when you come in, it gives you 60 days extendable to 90. But every time, then you have to leave the country. But when you fly back in, you get another 60 days. So based on all of that, I would say if you are the type to want to travel and leave the country every 2 or 3 months anyways, you want to go check out Macau, you want to check out the Philippines, you want to check out, other neighboring places, and you just want to fly in and out, then Thailand would be easier. If you want to live in Bali and you just want to be here for 6 months, that's actually a great option because you don't have to fly back to your home country to get that 6-month visa. You can just fly to the closest country, which is Singapore. How far is it?
Singapore was easy. It was like a 2-hour flight.
Okay.
You find pretty cheap flights. I booked mine through KLM. It was like $98, but then on the way back through Air Asia, it was like $60, $70.
I bet the KLM flight was a lot nicer.
It was a lot nicer, exactly. I hate flying Air Asia.
Yeah, me too. Asia is like...
It's the worst.
It's like the hot girl you see on Tinder. And you're like, oh, yeah, this would be good. and you get there. And you know what? Sometimes it's fine, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah, Air Asia, don't use them if you don't have to. Pay a little bit more.
Yeah, my rule is unless my only option to get a direct flight is Air Asia. I'll always take the direct flight no matter what.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to fly a crappy airline if it's a direct flight and then transfer with a good one.
Yeah, same here.
And then if they're both direct flights, if Air Asia is more than 50% less, I would just go with them anyways. I was like, to save some money.
Yeah.
But even if it's 50% more,
yeah.
By the time you factor in luggage,
luggage, exactly. I always check luggage in most of the time.
And the other kind of BS things that they tack on,
nickel and dime before,
using a credit card, to check out, a bottle of water. Things. So Air Asia, I agree with that. So to kind of wrap up the visa situation, the extensions, I think that's a pain in the ass. Where to me, it sounds like just a scheme for Indonesia to try to get more money out of tourism.
It is, but in terms of pain in the ass, I will say because if you're using a travel agent, if you're not a cheap motherfucker and trying to do it yourself, they're going to jerk you around and make you go like 3 times. Where if you used to use a visa agent, they just make you go once to do the fingerprints.
I don't even want to do that, to be honest. I guess you have to.
Everyone has to, even if you do it yourself. And the nice thing is, if you use a visa agent, the one I'm going to give you, they will pick up the passport from you at your villa and then drop it off and pick it up after it's done, so you don't have to go deal with that bullshit anymore.
Okay, so I'll try that out, and then if it works good, then I'll write it in the show notes somewhere. But I think, and this is why it's a pain. It's because unlike in Chiang Mai, where you can call an Uber, have them take you to the mall in a nice air-conditioned car, then go watch a movie while you're getting your visa stuff done, have lunch in a nice food court. Here, you got to drive either
it's like an hour
on a scooter in the most insane traffic in the world, or you have to try to convince some mafia taxi guy to not charge you more than $35 to take you in his car. And it's like, I just don't want to deal with it. It's just a pain. It's just stress for me.
It is, but you know what? It's like at the end of the day, I've made my peace with these demons we call visas. I'm like, you know what? It's a small price to pay that we get to live in paradise, freedom, and I'm very grateful for it. So I don't try not to get bogged down on it. You know?
I do like that reframe a lot. I do like.
So it's worth it. I don't mind it.
Speaking of Uber, I am so glad Uber is here. It just it's unfortunate that it only works 10% of the time.
Yeah, I saw your post about it. So you found out it's like it's the mafia here, man. They don't like it. So it's,
and some people will say, oh, it's not a mafia. It's just the local, villagers that want to keep their jobs.
Yeah,
and you know what? To a point, I'm sure people that live locally, and have been extorting people with exuberant taxi prices want to keep that money, and that's how they feed their family. But that's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even good for them because it's high stress. They're just standing around. They don't get that many customers because most people end up just wanting to either ride a scooter, walk, or they just don't go out past their neighborhood because they're like, I don't want to deal with it. It's too much trouble to get around.
Yeah.
And for me, like in Chiang Mai, once they had Uber and it was convenient, I started going to restaurants on the other side of the river or like clear across town because I'm like, let's try this place. And because it's easy, because I knew it was convenient.
Oh, wow.
So that definitely boosts the economy.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And I hear actually the same thing. I was tempted just to call an Uber because I wanted to go to a nice dinner across town and I want to ride on my scooter, but you just can't get one. And I'm not going to pay, and it's not about the money. It's about the principle of it.
Yeah.
Where I'm not going to pay 4 times what something should cost and then have to argue with some dude, some shady character about it,
Yeah. It's another pain that we deal with from living abroad. Cause even like in Thailand, like Phuket, like you get the Tuk Tuk Mafia, they prevented the buses from starting. They go from the airport to wherever, they blockaded that. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a Southeast Asian thing, but like, yeah.
I think it's like a, scarcity mindset thing where, and I would imagine every single country where people think money is a scarce resource, they just try to hold on to it and they try to kind of strong arm their way into keeping it. While if people had an abundance mindset, first off, maybe they would have thought of an app, in the first place, or they would have embraced it. Because I guarantee you those local people.
Well, there are apps coming now. Like I saw signs like.
Finally, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know how much they're pricing it out,
And the thing is, but here's what I don't like about Uber. And this is kind of like my other point to them is I don't like it when they artificially lower, like have prices low just to get market dominance because that's unfair to the locals who are actually trying to compete. And it's also unfair to, like pretty much everyone, because once they do get domination, then they're a monopoly.
Yeah.
So that's why I like places that have both Uber and Lyft and Grab.
There's like Grab and Gojek.
Yeah. And the thing is, we don't even mind paying a bit more if it's a fair price. We just don't want to get ripped off.
Yeah. I think that's a fair thing. It's like we don't want to get ripped off.
Yeah. I actually think Uber is a little bit too cheap in Bali. I think they should raise the price. And then strike a deal and say, look, we're going to raise our price. We're not going to rip people off like you guys are, but we're going to raise our price so then, it's something where it's still reasonable for people.
Yeah.
But then local drivers would definitely make more money than what they're doing now because more people end up taking it instead of just waiting around for customers and, just harassing people on the street, which is annoying to tourists. You would be driving more often because there's more people calling you.
Yeah. These are all valid arguments, but I think it's like a cultural thing, I think like if you would try to have this conversation with people, with these drivers, I don't know how much it would go with like one ear out the other, it's like, cause to you and I, it's a logical conversation, but to them, I don't know if
I was so tempted to print out a piece of like a letter, have it in, Indonesian, explaining the economics of why Uber is good for you. And then every time someone asks me if I want a taxi, I'm just going to hand them that letter.
Oh man. Well, you should do this. I mean, like, cause I've seen a lot of stuff on the Facebook threads. Like if you look on the Changu community Facebook group, someone always starts a discussion. And like all these things have been said before and brought up, but it's kind of like at a deadlock, I would say.
But that's why you have to get it into the hands of the actual people in their language.
And the authorities.
Yeah. Or, and it's like, it's short-term thinking, where long-term thinking, I guarantee the economy would benefit if something like Uber was free market.
I think that's you're talking about future business projects, Johnny.
I'm not going to get involved in that. That's like the last thing I want to do.
You could do Visa and tuk-tuk services combined.
No, definitely not. Like, that's like the last business owner I want to get
Those
into.
are two angry demographics. You'd have angry Visa agents and angry tuk-tuk drivers after you.
Oh my God. You know, with the Visa, I was like, you know what? Just charge more for it, but let everything be done at the airport. Like, because for me right now, when I found out that I had the option to pay, instead of getting the free Visa, to pay $35 so I can have the option to extend, I was like, okay, I'm happy to pay that. But then as soon as I got it, I looked at the stamp. I was like, it still says 30 days. And
so you didn't realize.
I didn't realize.
You had to extend it with an agent.
Then I had to extend it. I was like, okay, I got to go extend it.
Yeah.
And then someone told me that, you got to spend 3 days going back and forth to the fucking airport again. It was an hour away. And I was like, fuck these people. It's like you're on a vacation for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And you don't want to spend 3 of your days, dealing with that.
Yeah.
And thank God there's the Visa agent where you can just pay them to do it. But even then, I don't want to even spend 1 day of my vacation going back to the airport.
Yeah. Just
to, spend a few hours getting a thumbprint. They could have just done that at the airport.
Yeah. These are the inefficiencies that haven't really worked out here, Unfortunately, it's like you talked about infrastructure, that almost turned me off the first month I got here. I was like, did I make the right choice? It's like infrastructure. Oh my God. But yeah, it's just inefficiencies here in Asia.
But you know what? There's with the ups and there's the downs,
exactly.
Right?
There's no perfect place, I've learned. After traveling the world, there's no perfect place.
Yeah, so we just got to enjoy the benefits of where we are.
Exactly.
Stay at places where the benefits outweigh the downsides.
Yeah.
And
it's like a relationship. You can't have the perfect relationship with your girlfriend or husband, but like,
I want it. I want it to be perfect. And I think it's possible. I really think it's possible.
Man, out of the 4 years of traveling, man, I haven't found that many places. I'm still looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a long journey, I think.
I think it's a fun journey.
It's a fun journey for sure.
And I'm confident that the world, or at least the Western world, is improving every single year in terms of infrastructure, number one, but also even just like ease of use and customer service, efficiency. Everything is getting better.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at Europe next year also, so I agree.
Yeah, you know what? Poland is pretty high on that list for infrastructure.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Canary Islands.
Okay. I don't know if Spain's going to be high on the list of infrastructure, but I heard it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun to chat. If you want to get in touch or check out your stuff, how can they find you?
Check out my blog, ChristopherWChew.com. I have information about coaching, morning rituals, personal development. Also, check out my YouTube channel. The link is there because I actually shot video last year while I was in Changu of like my apartment, the cool stuff I did, the training. And yeah, I also document about my nomad journey and living abroad. So yeah, my YouTube and Facebook. Add me on Facebook. Search for Chris Chew, or you can find me under Johnny's Facebook page as well.
Don't look for me under Johnny's page.
Okay. So just find me on my domain, Christopher W. Chew, CHIU. Thanks, brother.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming on, and I'll see all of you guys next week. Bye-bye. Huge thank you to everyone who's taken the time to log into the iTunes store to leave us a review of this podcast. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it helps us so much and encourages me to continue to be able to put out these podcasts every single week for you. So a big thank you to Steve K for your review last week, as well as Cal Reed this week. Great podcast. 5 stars. This podcast is great for entrepreneurs and travelers. Johnny gives great advice and his guests are very informative as well. Looking forward to more. And I'm looking forward to more great reviews to be able to read on air. So please take the moment to go onto the iTunes store and leave us a review of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I also want to thank TripStreak for sponsoring this week's episode. The next time you need to book a flight, make sure you check out tripstreak.com/travellikeaboss and make an account. That way you can put in your preferences like what currency you want displayed, if you prefer red-eye flights, or if you like flights during the day. And if for you business class bosses, you can even set that you only want completely lie flat seats and you don't want any airlines to trick you into a reclining seat that looks like it could be lie flat until it's, you're on the plane, you're exhausted and you're like, oh man, it only reclines 90%. So, big thank you to TripStreak again, and I'll see all of you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.